Rama Rama Pupodu. Hope all are in good health, feeling great, wonderful, relaxed, having a happy life. Now let's go to chapter 32 2. Second attempt. A few days later, Ram Charan Das turned up. He was in Haridwar during the Kumbh Mela but had missed him in the vast assemblage. He insisted upon Ramdas shifting to the double kuti which had been reserved during his absence. Ram, you had no business to lock up the room, remarked Ramdas to him. The room is the property of all sadhus. During your absence, so many sadhus were in search for kutis. Your reservation of the kuti was against the principle of sadhuism. Ramdas did not wish to give up the company of the Maharashtra sadhu who had afforded him shelter for so many days. The sadhu also pleaded with Ramdas not to part with him. So, for a day or two, Ramdas continued to stay with him, in spite of the repeated pressure of Ram Charan Das, who even tried to take him to his kuti by force. At last, finding Ram Charan Das was greatly upset by Ramdas' unwillingness to share his kuti, he shifted to his room. Here, Ramdas met two sannyasi disciples of Swami Akhandanath of Chitrakut. Ramdas again thought of going up the Nilkant Hill. The Nepali sadhu had left the ashram soon after his return from the disappointing trip. Now, a party consisting of Ramdas, Ramcharan Das, the Maharashtra sadhu, and two sannyasis started on the adventure. But one of the sannyasis knew the route that led up to the Nilkant shrine, as he had an occasion to visit the place before. At this time, Ramdas had come in contact with a sincere sadhaka from Nagpur, Ramachandra Timande, and the manager of a Marwadi Annashatra, who were both very kind and loving to him. Ramchandra had begun to look upon him as his spiritual guide. Before setting out on the Nilkant journey, Ramcharan Das had replenished his joli with foodstuffs from the Marwadi Annashatra. He possessed already two aluminium vessels and procured from the same source a hand hatchet for cutting firewood. One early morning, the party commenced the ascent of the hill. The sannyasi guide took them along the proper path, which, being spiral, was easy to climb. They had to cover a distance of 7 miles, which they did by midday. Now they came to a small stream of water, which they crossed by the help of a wooden bridge, and reached a place shaded by the spreading branches of a cluster of giant forest trees, in the middle of which stood the small mandir of Nilkant and two dharmashalas. The party alighted at one of the dharmashalas. Here a dinner was prepared for all, and by 2 o'clock they finished their meals. Ramdas and Ramcharan Das proposed to spend some days on the hill. The sannyasis and the Maharashtra sadhu left the hill top for the plains. Ramdas was now for discovering the edible roots on the hill, so he and Ramcharan Das began to dig for them at several places on the hill. It being summer, the ground was hard, and the hill people advised them not to try for the roots, as they were deep down in the earth and that it was not the season to dig for them. So they gave up the arduous task. Ramdas then suggested to Ramcharan Das that they should give up the dharmashala and seek a solitary nook on the hill for spending their days. The evening was drawing near. They started inspecting the hill for a secluded and suitable spot. The sun set. They were near a tiny stream in the small valley of a sloping hill. Ramdas climbed up the slope, which was covered with a thick growth of short trees. In the midst of a group of trees, Ramdas sat down. We shall remain here tonight, and after clearing the ground, We shall have between us a small pit in which we shall make a fire to keep us warm in the night, said Ramdas. Then they set about collecting the dry twigs and branches of trees. Soon a fire was lit. The ground was cleared of the small shrubs and thorny plants. A lota of water was procured from the spring for drinking purposes. The night was cold, but the fire kept them warm. Ramdas acquainted Ramcharandas with what they should do on the tomorrow. Ram, tomorrow, let us cut down some trees by the help of the hatchet and erect a small hut to accommodate us two and spend some quiet days here. Ramcharandas agreed. The night passed almost in a wakeful condition. From early morning next day, they grew busy in the erection of the proposed plant. Ramdas did the digging of the ground to make it level, and Ramcharandas went down to cut down the short trees for obtaining suitable posts for the shed. They toiled till midday. Ramcharandas prepared at the small stream a few rotis and dal, with which they satisfied the hunger and again applied themselves to the work in hand. They made marvelous progress in the construction of the needed hut. At about 3 o'clock, a shepherd of the hills came in the direction with his herd of sheep. Seeing these sadhus, he approached and questioned them as to what they were doing. Ramdas made him understand the object of their labor. Maharaj, he said, why all is this necessary? There is a cave close by, most suitable for your occupation. Some time ago, a sadhu was living in it. It is now vacant. You can reside in it instead of taking all this trouble. It is on the edge of a stream of pure crystal water. Ramdas jumped at the idea and asked him, can you lead us to the cave? Come along, he said. I can take you to it instantly. Turning to Ramcharandas, Ramdas said, throw up this work, let us follow him. Ramcharandas looked amazed at the whimsical command of Ramdas, but submitted as he had done many times before this. That's all, folks. Let's see in the next chapter. Thank you. Bye bye. Rama Rama Pupoda.